Hello, good morning. Welcome to Monday, a Monday after the big events of Christmas. And we just want to jump right in today and pick up now the issue of after the big event and a faith challenge that happens during that time. So we just want to, without further ado, jump right in and deal with after the big event, and that there are still faith challenges that are going on. So what is the big event we just marked? We just marked the Christmas time. We're now in the intervening days leading up to New Year and into 2021. And in this intervening time, the question is, now what do we do? What do we do with ourselves now? We've just had the big event, the gifts under the tree, the exchange of gifts, party gatherings, family gatherings, whatever you have been doing, and it's kind of like, now what? We're kind of in between the holiday and returning back to normal life, and this is a crucial time. This is a crucial time to rise to a faith challenge. There's still faith challenges there after the big event. Now, the big event has been the birth of Jesus, which was probably around the middle of September. What we mark with Christmas would be actually the event that's described in Matthew. Matthew and Luke are not at odds. They're not contradicting one another. Luke is covering the actual infancy narrative, the birth of Jesus, his dedication in the temple and return to Nazareth. Matthew picks up a year or two after Luke, and he fills in the information about his weaning and the wise men coming to Jerusalem. That's a big event, and that's actually the big event of December. It was actually in December around the 25th when the wise men arrived in Jerusalem and asked the question, where is he that was been born King of the Jews? We have come to commemorate him. We've come to see him. Well, I'm just going to assert this and leave it at that and go on, that you would not come and visit a brand new born king, offspring of a king. You wouldn't coochie-coo a brand new newborn. You wouldn't do it. You would come when it was safe and established that the child was weaned and was now available for public presentation, especially in the idea of royalty. You wouldn't come expecting royalty and come and coochie-coo a brand new born infant. It would not happen. That would be utterly gauche. That would not be acceptable in the society. But you would come about 2 years later and meet the toddler. You would meet the child that had been weaned from his mother and was now able to be presented. And so this is actually what we need to understand, I think, to come and eliminate this confusion of why Luke and Matthew are at odds. Why is the birth narrative so different? It's not a birth narrative. One is a birth narrative of the birth of Jesus found in Luke. In Matthew, we encounter the toddler Jesus 2 years after, 2 months after his birth, something like that. Okay, and so if you want to refer back to the video, you can look back to the video of the Christmas sermon. It's available here in Facebook and YouTube where you found this video. What was that Sunday? I think that was that the 20th? I think that was the 20th. Yes, I believe that was the 20th. Yes, because this was the 27th we just moved through. So December the 20th, the 3 gifts I bring, and pick up. You can actually go to all 3 sermons if you'd like. It'd be the 20th, back up 7 to the 13th, and back up 7 to the 6th. So December 6th, 13th, and 20th, you can find this encounter in the book of Luke with the birth, with the visit of the wise men in Matthew. I'm sorry. in Matthew. We have been doing our devotions in the book of Luke, and now we switch back and pick up after the visit of the wise men, and we're going to pick up on the tail end of that now in Matthew chapter 2, 11 through 13. And wow, was that a big explanation. So it reads this way: and having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod. So this is a supernatural experience. This is something that is not physical, normal, natural every day. This is something that occurs through a dream. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, Herod told them, go and see the child, come back and tell me about it. Tell me where he's at. And Herod thought he had snookered them. Herod thought that they would come back by, kneel to him, and then head back out of town, and then he would know exactly his next step, which was he had in mind to destroy this young child. They returned to their country by another route. They were already heading south out of Jerusalem to Bethlehem. They just cut across country and down to the Dead Sea and made their way a whole nother road system back to their country. So look what they do. They respond to a guidance from God through a dream, and they return to their country by another route. And when they had gone, and what had they left? Gold, frankincense, and myrrh, very costly gifts. When they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. Here's another dream. And he appears to Joseph and said, get up, he said, take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. So I want you to understand that, first of all, this is in the month of December in the area of Jerusalem, late December, early January, and it is identical to the weather conditions of New Mexico, around the 4,000 foot level, which means it can warm up during the day, but it can be bitterly cold at night, dangerously cold at night. And so while they are in their home, sheltered from the wind and the cold, with a fire burning to keep them warm, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. By the way, this is probably a family home because they're both from the tribe of Judah, and they have their ancestral roots. And the people of the Jewish people are very hospitable, and there's room for them in this home, which means this is not just like Luke. This is 2 years later after the census has been taken. There is not this crushing crowd that is overflowing all the houses and pushing Mary and Joseph to a tower of the flock to stay. But instead, they're in a house, and could have been a family house, could have been a close member of either one of their families. Get up, he said, take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. So they're now going to have to go on a journey to Egypt in the winter. I can't help but wonder if this isn't why Jesus later says in this same gospel, Matthew 24, and pray that your flight not be in winter. This is part of the family story. Get up, take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt, and then stay there until I tell you. For Herod is going to search for the child to kill him. Joseph does not know what exactly Herod will do. He simply is warned in a dream Herod is going to search for the child to kill him. If we can get into Egypt, we get out of the clutches of Herod. He is limited to Israel. He cannot reach into Egypt. We'll have protection. And notice this, they had received gold, frankincense, and myrrh, which means they now had the financial ability with this 2-year-old child to go to Egypt and live for a while and have full and complete provision while they were there. Isn't that amazing? That this toddler Jesus could go with his parents, Mary and Joseph, and be taken care of while Herod is on the prowl. So, what does that tell us? What can we glean from that? What can we pull away from that? That there's more than the big event of the birth. There's other things that are going to happen. And it's going to be a faith challenge. Joseph would want to stay there. Who would want to leave in the winter and go to Egypt? But what do? They listen. They listen to what they're told through a dream. And they have had great provision made for them just hours before. Less than a day before, probably. They had great provision made for them by these wise men who had come from the east. What a timely provision of God's grace, and what a timely moment to then take that and go to Egypt and find complete provision after the big event and continuing in faith. With that, I'll say, the Lord bless you. His grace be upon you. His peace fill you within the depth of your spirit. And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.